All right, good morning, folks. We are doing another live segment this morning to kind of just bring you guys up to speed on where we're at with some of the things that are going on in terms of the storm. I'm getting your continual updates in terms of what is happening with Flow and others, which we'll post here in a second. I'm aware that Flow and Digicel have just sent out a notification. So just hang tight, folks. I will definitely post all of that information here shortly, both on the website and, of course, on our social media platforms. But we wanted to take a moment this morning to have a brief conversation with Mr. John Tibbetts, who is the director of the Cayman Islands. Is it the National Weather? What's the official title?
The official title is the Director General of the Cayman Islands National Weather Service.
Okay, that's a mouthful. All right, so of course, you guys, you know that John is the expert with all things weather related, and we are experiencing, a tropical storm this morning. And I just want to remind you. Let me just bring this up. This is the latest information that we have on this storm. John, can you tell us what are we looking at here this morning in terms of tropical storm Eta, and what can we expect?
Okay, so take us back just a little bit, and that was at 7 a.m. this morning when the National Hazards Management Council and disaster managers were briefed. And at that time, the storm center was 190 miles west-southwest of us. However, it was pointed out in that presentation that the Hurricane Center was having a lot of problems on locating the storm center. I also took time out to show them a radar loop that was showing a center pretty close to Grand Cayman, and suspicions from our forecasters internally at the Weather Service was that they were going to relocate the center. And so at 10 a.m., they relocated the storm center to 45 miles west-northwest of Grand Cayman. The storm and what they've put on it is a fairly fast forward speed at about 17 miles per hour going towards the northeast. So this storm is expected to get out of here in a fairly quick time. Right now, when we looked at the radar images just now, I will tell you the heaviest of the thunder showers and rain bands was actually north of Grand Cayman at that particular time. However, because you've got a bit of a circulatory motion with the storm, it doesn't mean that you can't get some of the rain and the heavier thunderstorms wrapping back over Grand Cayman, at least for the next 3, 4, 5 hours at least. And then we'll start to see improving type conditions. And when I say improving type conditions, I'm not talking about blue skies, but I'm talking about decreasing periods of heavy showers. The band of tropical storm force winds is supposed to be across us at this particular time, and is supposed to be getting out of here mid-afternoon, I would suspect, and sister islands more towards the late evening.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for that update. Now, there were a lot of people, John, who were saying that they were caught off guard. I mean, we haven't had a storm. Is my memory serving me correctly that we actually have not had a storm since Hurricane Ivan? Is that about right? Like anything that kind of...
But Paloma is more of a sister islands impact
Right.
than Grand Cayman. And mind you, I know that I saw some conversations there suggesting that likening some of these to a Paloma or a 1932 hurricane.
No.
When the 1932 hurricane did not go over Honduras and Nicaragua, it turned to the south of us and came across the Cayman area from the southwesterly type motion. So this is a completely different type of situation. The other thing basically was that would have surprised forecasters is that when we look at the track of the storm, for this storm to have survived going across Nicaragua and Honduras is pretty darn remarkable. And then to reform and is now a tropical storm heading north is quite remarkable. And maybe a part of it has to do with climate change. As more warmer water becomes more available over the Western Caribbean.
Wow. I mean, yeah, it's amazing. It really, really is. But what's the advice right now that you're giving people? What's the best possible advice should they be doing at this time?
At this time, I'd probably sit tight. As I said, this storm is going to move out of here fairly quickly.
Yeah.
And outside of the fact that you're probably going to have some downed light poles and downed trees around the place and stuff like that,
Mhm.
going into the late evening and stuff like that, I think we will be seeing improving type conditions that might mean that you might be able to go outside and maybe even be able to drive around in short areas. But
Okay.
for right now, we the disaster managers are out there and
Yes.
they're looking at any down trees or down light poles to make sure the roads are passable. Please also remind you that the roads are flooded,
Mhm.
and there are times when you might want to feel that you can drive very fast on the road, and then you hit a big puddle of water,
Mhm.
and it'll mess you up real bad.
Yeah.
And also remind you of the that there are some showers that are still likely across the Cayman area for still a while to come.
So, John, I did notice that earlier we had a lot of power outages in different areas. I know that CUC has issued an alert on their social media pages, essentially just asking people to stay inside if they can. Obviously, they are aware of the power outages and they will certainly be seeking to restore power as quickly as possible. Is there
Mhm.
any danger that when a power line goes down, that could potentially hurt someone? I mean, obviously, it's a good idea to stay away from it in any event, but
Yeah, well, water helps conduct electricity pretty darn good. So yeah, you don't want to do that.
yeah.
The other thing is that um, uh, light poles are knocked down by a variety of reasons. One of them
Mhm.
is people run into them, obviously,
Right.
and under the rainy conditions outside. Please resist any temptation if you end up going outside to drive real fast. The other thing basically is that I think we've seen some evidence that we had some very significant winds in localized areas that may have impacted some of the light poles collapsing.
Mhm.
Um, I'm not going to necessarily say that they were tornadoes,
Right.
um, but because I would look at those poles and poles look like as if they were moved from one direction to the other, rather
Yes.
than necessarily a rotary action to tear down the pole.
Yes.
Okay, that looks more like a straight line wind to me right now, until I actually go and do some sort of investigation.
Mhm. Yeah, because
And
we did get that question as well, in
yeah,
terms of if that was an actual tornado that caused that damage. So we don't know that for sure as yet.
well, normally I try to shy away from using the word terminology tornadoes in the Cayman area. And uh, unless we're talking about a really, really severe weather event or we're in the northeast quadrant of a hurricane,
Mhm.
we try to shy away from those kind of terminologies. That being said, there are many features that come in thunderstorms,
Mhm.
um, whether we call them the whirlwinds or border storms. But, I know we've seen evidence in the past of water spouts coming ashore and doing some decent amount of damage. So, because it does have a cyclonic turn into it, and the
Mhm.
winds are elevated in that area, so that's quite possible.
Okay. All
But
right.
a
So it
whirlwind
sounds
would
like
not
you're,
have, Sandra,
yeah.
whirlwind would not have done the damage that you showed to those light poles. You need a stronger wind than that, and it's
Wow.
possible you might have had a straight line wind type event in that area, downflow, a down, what we call a downdraft. That once it hits
Mhm.
the earth, that is a strong wind. And certainly when we looked at the band of heavy showers that went across the area, that is quite possible.
Okay. All right, folks. So again, the director, Mr. John Tibbetts, has joined us this morning from our weather center here in the Cayman Islands. I think it's amazing that you guys were making observations about this system that the Hurricane Center had not yet made, and that's why it's good to keep up with what the local authorities are saying. So we
Yeah.
certainly appreciate your expert knowledge that you bring to the table and sharing that with our viewers. this morning. So basically, folks, the best advice: stay inside, hang tight. The storm is changing a little bit, but in another hour or two, Mr. Tibbetts might have yet another update for us. So you want to just make sure that you're staying tuned to all of the official news sources here in the Cayman Islands that will bring you the update. We do have a 10 a.m. update that we have just received as well, that we will be posting here shortly on the website. So stay indoors and stay safe is the best advice that we can give. All right, Mr. John, thank you so much. We know you're a busy man, but we appreciate you taking a few
Thank you.
minutes of your day to join us, and have a
God
safe
bless.
day. Okay,
Bye-bye.
thanks, dear. All right, folks, so that is it. I just wanted to do a brief update with John Tibbetts. Again, he is the Director General of our Cayman Islands National Weather Service, and we appreciate him coming on today to give it to you guys straight from the horse's mouth. Again, be safe. JD saying it's not that bad. Well, it certainly could be a whole lot worse, but you'll see in a minute here some of the footage that has gone out there, flooding, down power lines, down trees, and other things. You definitely, I think, just want to stay inside and be safe. We are going to go live on Instagram after this because someone has some footage that they want to share with us, I think, in the Newlands area of what's happening there. So we'll go over to our Instagram followers. If you don't follow us on Instagram, please do check us out, Cayman Mall Road, at Cayman Mall Road. Thank you, Dawn. Thank you, Olivia. Thank you, Miss Ronika, JD, Miss Laura, Carrie Whitaker. Bless all of you. Thank you guys also for tuning in from the Sister Islands. And I'm glad to hear that the Sister Islands are actually faring pretty well in this situation as well. So yes, continue to stay tuned right here to Cayman Mall Road. We are bringing you regular updates throughout the day as we know more. Devereen, thank you, my love. And Carlton says, you've not seen all the videos yet. Well, I have seen them, and I've been getting them, and we're about to load them up on the website here shortly. So those of you who've not seen the videos can certainly go and have a look. Juanita says, be safe, everyone. God bless, protect us all, as he will see this beautiful place where we call home be safe. So thank you so much, Olivia, for that as well, and JD. So yeah, you hear like, looks like our neighbor's tree over there has definitely lost a few limbs. It's actually splitting already. So yeah, folks, just be safe. And we'll tune in with you guys, check in with you a little bit later on today. If anything changes, we'll definitely let you know. Stay safe, folks.